Hi everyone, welcome back to the Model 3 Man channel. Today is tip of the day number 40. 40. I can't believe it, but we're there. I was just sitting thinking last night, and there are still many more tips and improvements that I can offer up in this series. So we'll be going still for quite a while. There's one topic that I'm pretty certain very few people give any thought at all to. Most of the time you get in the car, you drive, you're fixating on the seat and the comfort and the temperature and the heat and all the rest of it. And this particular topic doesn't rate any level of interest at all. What is it? Well, it's the lights in the Model 3. Internal lights, exterior lights, indicator lights. We don't think about it. We're very used to the fact that the car just turns the lights on automatically. If we go out and it's evening, well, the lights are on. But you can control a lot of the behavior of the lights in the Model 3. We go to touch control and then we tap on lights. And that opens up a number of options and choices that will allow you to control the lights in the Model 3. Even though it really doesn't rate a lot of interest, people don't think about it a lot, it's a really important topic. So let's go through some of the options and the choices and the settings that you have, and let's have a look at what makes sense in terms of the choices we should make. First of all, the Model 3 has a number of convenience lights, the puddle lights, the floor lights, some of the soft lighting that comes on if you engage in park or if you open the door. All of those lights come on. I uploaded an episode previously where I talked about replacing the pretty anemic bulbs that come with your Tesla with some stronger lights if you think that the lighting in the Model 3 in the trunk and in the footwells is not very bright. You can do something about that. When it comes to the exterior lights, it's important to note that automatically all of your exterior lights, including the headlights and the tail lights, are on auto. But there are some choices. You can change from auto and you can select from among the following options. You could set it to off and that would turn all the lights off. You could set it to parking and that would turn all the parking lights and the side lights and the low lights on for the time that you've got the setting there. Thirdly, you could turn headlights on. That means you are manually turning them on. You are taking responsibility and they're all on as they normally would be anyway. Or you can leave it on auto. But here's the interesting thing. If you don't leave it on auto, if you put it onto on, did you know that the next time you start driving, the next time you start up the car, the lights go back to auto? See, your car doesn't trust you. Not a whole lot. Maybe it's a good thing. Automatic settings, well, the lights come on when the car determines that the ambient lighting is low enough, and then it turns them on by itself. Now, when I purchased the car with the premium updates, it included fog light. So it's important to know that the fog light is an option and you have to manually turn it on in the controls. So don't assume that it just comes on when it detects fog. At least it doesn't do that yet. What about the interior lights or the dome lights? If the dome lights are set to auto, the dome lights will come on when you unlock the car or you shift into park or you open a door. So leave your dome lights set to auto. However, you can override that. If you press the actual lights themselves, you can turn them on and off. They are soft touch. So as you push it on, the light gently comes to full brightness, and when you turn it off, it fades back to nothing. They're pretty cool. That happens for the dome lights in the middle of the roof as well as those up at the front by the mirror. There are some other lights in a rather unusual place on the steering wheel. And you say, well, where do they show up on the steering wheel? They are backlighting for the scroll wheels. So you can see the up and down arrows on the scroll wheel. When you engage the steering lights, when you turn the steering wheel lights on, you'll see that. If not, the steering wheel is completely black. For many new drivers, that's very disconcerting. They're used to seeing soft ambient light glowing everywhere in the car. Steering wheel lights on or off, it's your choice. I leave them off. Then we come to high beam, low beam. The default setting for that is auto. When you push the left-hand stalk outwards, it turns the lights onto high beam. But if your setting is for auto high beam, the light will come on only when it does not detect cars or lights or oncoming lights in front of it. So what happens when a car approaches you? Automatically the high beam will drop to low beam, and then when the car passes you by, it will lift up again. In my experience, it's not a very satisfactory strategy, because there are often times when it's really just responding to parked cars on the side of the road that are not going anywhere, and it dips the lights. Now, if you want to override that, if you pull that left stalk toward you, you will override and the lights will go onto high beam irrespective of what the auto setting would have done by itself. So if you need to override, pull it toward you. Most Model 3 owners are somewhat unsatisfied by the performance of the auto high beam, and some of them choose to just do it manually. Then there's another setting that controls what happens to your headlights after you exit the car. In most cases, when you close the door and lock it, the lights should go off. However, you can allow the headlights to remain on after you've exited the car, and the setting is under Controls, Lights, Headlights After Exit. If you do want the headlights after exit and you activate that, they'll stay on for a while, at least a minute, but they'll stay on until you remote lock your car, or as you walk away with your phone and it remote locks after 10 or 20 feet, the lights will then go off, but at worst they'll go off after 1 minute. Now, to adjust the angle of the high beam, you could go into the controls, but this time you're going to choose the service option and then the headlights option, and then through the use of the scroll wheels, it lets you adjust the angle of your headlights. But be very careful when you do that, because if in fact you raise it too much, your normal low light or low beams will appear to be on high to oncoming cars, and you'll be constantly getting drivers flashing their lights at you. But remember, there's no default setting to put it back to what it was from the factory. You'll have to just keep adjusting until you get it right. Turn signals. Here's the one that confused a lot of people when they first get their Model 3, and that is this. If you push the turn signal, let's say down, you want to go left, but if you push it down gently, the turn signal will flash just 3 times. On, and then it goes off. If you want it to stay on, you push it down harder, so the pressure you exert on the stalk will determine whether it's only a 3 flash indicator or whether it stays on until either you turn and then the wheel turns it off. If the light was flashing and it hadn't turned off, you could lightly push it in the same direction you had set it before, but lightly push it and that will turn off the indicator light. Now the hazard flashers are above your head, right there above the mirror in the center. And what's important to note is even if the car is locked and you don't have your key, the hazard lights will work anyway. They are not dependent on the car being locked or unlocked. Because if you lost your card, you've forgotten it, and your phone ran out and you're stuck, at least you can put the hazard lights on. Here's another important thing. Whenever you turn the car on, when you press the brake pedal or you put it into a gear, temporarily, a lot of indicator lights come up on the top of the screen. And within a second or two, they all disappear. If the light does not disappear, there may be a problem with that particular feature. So take a look at these graphics here, which show some of the important indicator lights that appear, what each indicator icon actually stands for. If you go into the manual, I am referring here to the North American manual. I know that they're different. Page numbers are different in different locations, but in North America, numbers 61 and 62 contain a full, exhaustive list of all of the indicator icons and exactly what they mean. Get familiar with them so that when next you see some kind of indicator light staying on, at least you'll know what it's for. So I hope that the tip of the day today has brought more light onto the subject of lighting. And if there are any tips that I've left out, and I'm sure there are, Won't you go to the comment section below and just add one if you found something else and some other little trick that works? Please go and share it with us. I always love pinning comments to the top of the comment section if they bring information that I somehow omitted. Thanks again for all your support. By the way, there is a complete playlist of all of these tips of the day, all 40 of them. And if you've missed out on some of them, it might be useful to start at the beginning of the playlist and work your way through to see which ones you've not yet come across. I'm sure there'll be useful information for you there. Thanks for your ongoing support. Thanks for your use of the referral code. It's such a rewarding thing to be sharing information like this and then seeing that people actually appreciate it and that they actually find it useful in getting to know their cars. So that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow for episode number 41. And in the meantime, look after yourself in this terrible, weird, strange time. And I will see you tomorrow.